You're listening to the Night Demon Network. Go to nightdemon.net/subscriber to unlock more exclusive content.
Hello and welcome to the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast. I'm your host Nesbit, and today we are going to finish our deep dive into Night Demon's Thin Lizzy-inspired 2020 single. Also, now, track number 3 on the Year of the Demon compilation. This is Are You Out There Part 3. So last week we got into the recording of this track in Chicago with Steve Albini, and we heard from Jarvis and what his mindset was when he was coming up with these lyrics. So to quote the press release for this track, lyricist Jarvis Leatherby spins a cautionary tale about the final days of the legendary Phil Lynott before his life was cut tragically short by drug and alcohol addiction. So with a Thin Lizzy-inspired track, it was only fitting that the lyrical content ties into the theme of Thin Lizzy as well.
And then, yeah, as far as the lyrics go, I think that was pretty set in stone, like from the beginning. Just because of the vibe of the song. And since, I had already called the original demo Lizzy, it was just kind of like an obvious thing to make the lyrical content, about the band or about Phil himself. That was a really cool thing for Jarvis to come up with, and it's a great story, and it's a perfect fucking story for a lyric or a song or a content. It makes sense. It's a tragedy. It's almost like the legends of the folk kind of stories that Phil himself would write about. He sort of became, he was this warrior that lost a battle, unfortunately to his own vices. So it's a good story. It's a good lyric about hope and like reaching out, to somebody that is on a, fast track to fucking destruction like he was.
The first line of the song goes, "One more for the road. You cannot get enough, but you can feel your heart is pounding.
One more for the road, cannot get enough, but you can feel your heart is pounding."
So this line is basically, all of us addicts have been there. Just one last drink for the one more. This will be the last one. And, one last line of blow, one last and toke off of the spliff, one last this. But at the end of the day, you're sitting in bed, you're laying in bed, and your heart is just pounding out of your chest. It's beating for its life to survive. And it's also breaking from inside because of your own insecurity to, try and control yourself. The feeling of being out of control of your own actions is insane, because when you think about the things that you do to your mind and your body with substances, you're not having to abstain. You are having to abstain. It's not like, I want to lose weight, I have to go work out. It's really tough. I have to do strenuous exercise and put my body through the motions. It's nothing like that. If you're an alcoholic, a drug addict, an overeater, you're addicted to social media, there's so many different things. The reality is all you have to do is abstain. It costs you money, time, and effort to destroy yourself. And so many of us fall victim to that. We have to go out of our way and pay out the fucking nose to destroy ourselves. And there's always the last time, and there's always tomorrow I'll stop. And that's what that first line is about. The second line, the scene has fallen down. The king has lost his crown. Just a faded memory of this old town.
The scene is falling down. The king has lost his crown. Just a faded memory of this old town.
So here, the scene has fallen down. The king has lost his crown. So, you know, Phil being back in Dublin, he's the king of that city, as well as certain parts of London. But back in Dublin, his hometown, he's the hometown pride. Everything is different now, at this point in his life. And the scene is no longer the same. He was the king. He's lost his crown. He's a drug addict. He's on his last legs. People have written him off. There's this famous thing where, the Live Aid show happened and Bob Geldof from the Boomtown Rats put that big festival on. It's one of the most famous festivals of all time, if not the most famous. And, Phil was kind of good friends with Geldof and kind of hoping like, hey, maybe this is an opportunity to reunite Thin Lizzy. He was kind of hoping he would ask him to headline. But, he didn't ask him anything because he knew probably where he was at in his life. And he's like, we can't help this guy anymore. He's not going to come through, So the king has lost his crown. And then the last line here, just a faded memory of this old town. So Phil, in his solo career in the early 80s, famously did a song called Old Town. And so that's just it's a double entendre there. He was just a fading memory of the old town of Dublin, but you throw in the line there. So there's for the hardcore fans there. If you know the song Old Town, that's where it is. And the chorus here, Johnny come home, from the dark back streets you roam, alone somewhere. Hey, renegade, are you out there?
Johnny, come home from the dark back streets you roam, alone somewhere. Hey, renegade, are you out there?
So we refer to Phil in this song as Johnny. There was a lot about the name Johnny in Thin Lizzy songs, like Johnny the Fox, and the song Johnny. Johnny is referred to a lot in Lizzy songs, and also the band Riot is also one of the biggest influences on Night Demon, and they also had a character named Johnny as well. Johnny's Back was a great song off of Thundersteel. And it goes back even further than that in the Riot lore. And so we thought it's good that we're going to bring in a universal character here named Johnny, and to symbolize Phil in the way that he did to symbolize another character. And so we're not as literal saying, hey, Phil Lynott, come on, So he created Johnny, and we've recreated Johnny as him. Johnny has evolved. He has become Johnny in this story. The last line, hey, renegade, are you out there? Going back to the Thin Lizzy song and album Renegade. So another little nod there. Little Easter eggs everywhere here. Second verse, so scared, all alone, wanting someone there, but you threw all that away. Now, didn't you? When she hurt you for the first time, that woman said it was the last time, but it was you who did the crime. Open up your eyes now.
So scared, all alone, wanting someone there, but you threw all that away. Now didn't you, when she hurt you for the first time, that woman said it was the last time, but it was you who did the crime. Open up your eyes now.
So that verse is something where, you know, Phil really missed his wife and his kids, and, you know, made many attempts to reconcile their relationship, but it was too late, you know. And, you know, I've been there myself. You know, there's a lot of hurt that you can do to somebody. It doesn't mean you don't love them. Although they might not believe that. And you know what? If they don't believe it, it's their right, because when you lie and you cheat and you're selfish with your own needs for whatever reason there is, you know, it could be some psychological disorder, it could be anything. There's no excuse for it in the end. And you have to understand that it takes a lot of courage for somebody else, you know, the other person in the relationship to walk away. It seems like it would be an easy thing, but it's not, because if somebody really loves and cares about you, they'll let you get away with a lot. It's just, and no matter how unfair it is to them, you know, but they just feel at the end of the day like a useless piece of garbage, even though it was never your intention to do that. That's what happens when you trample on somebody's self-esteem and the trust that they have in you. When you violate that, you can almost never get it back. And you have to deal with the consequences, even if you fucked up, even if alcohol and drugs, you know, they have a lot to do with things like this that happen with people, a lot. And they're a heavy influence on the carelessness that people take in their lives and the very poor decision-making that happens. But at the end of the day, it's you who did the crime. You can't blame it. It's you who decided to do those substances that put you in that mode. It's you who decided to lie and cover it up to try and save what you have and hope that it would just go away and be swept under the rug and you can move on. And then, you know, you learn that you're enabled by that and you just do it over and over again. And people get severely damaged and severely hurt. And it's for no other reason than the actions that you did. And, you know, it's like, how would you like to be that person? How would you like to be in that situation? You know, especially in this case, if you have a wife and kids and stuff, I mean, there's a lot of potential lifetime damage here. And it's just a sad fucking cycle. And it is not exclusive to this man. It's not exclusive to me. You know, but all you can do is move forward. And people can change. And I think, you know I have. I think Phil tried, but he just, in the end, didn't have enough inside of him to fully make that switch. And it was too late. The bridge section of the song after the solo. Just another fix might do ya. This train is rolling off the rails. Through the fog, you cannot see the shore. Just another casualty of the war.
Just another fix might do ya. This train is rolling off the rails. Through the fog, you cannot see the shore. Just another casualty of the war.
Through the looking glass, it seems your time has passed. Search for answers that you know will set you free. But the real power lies within you.
Through the looking glass, it seems your time is past. In search of answers that you know will set you free. But the real power lies within you. Oh.
So touching much on the same themes here, but it's like, this is the part of the letter to him that's like, look, man, this has gone way too fucking far. This is it. The only person that's going to be able to help you now is you. You got to want this. We've done everything we can. We're still here for you. We're ready to rock, but you have to pull yourself out of this mess now. You have our full support, but we can no longer do this for you because, you know, it's that enabling behavior where somebody goes back down into it. So the third and final verse here. Your rock has lost its role. The next gig is your funeral. You've gotten out of control. You won't live again. Johnny, come home. From the dark back streets you roam. Alone somewhere. Hey, Johnny boy, are you out there?
Your rock has lost its role. The next gig is your funeral. You've gotten out of control. You won't live again. Oh no, Johnny, come home. From the dark back streets you roam. Alone somewhere. Hey Johnny boy, are you out there?
The bass parts on this song I'm really stoked on. So to start the song, obviously we have these big hits that happen, and that's just me doing big bass power chords and holding it down like basically the rhythm guitar would while Armand starts the riff. Then I come in and do the riff on my own, the opening riff, and Armand does the guitar solo over it. So it used to be guitar and bass doing that. And since we're a three-piece, obviously we peeled it back a bit. And, you know, I have to be there holding the foundation. So that great riff, that would be an awesome Thin Lizzy dual guitar riff, ends up just being this killer bass riff. From there, we go on to the harmonies, the three harmony lines. But again, that's us. That's the Night Demon signature, us doing the harmonies together. And, you know, on the chorus too, I'm just holding it down and playing in that major key. And really, a lot of what I did was just lock in with the drums a lot on the verses and the choruses here. Dusty and I are a very tight rhythm section on this song, and Armand does a good job locking in with us on those verses. And then on the chorus, he really opens up and does some amazing guitar fills in between the vocal parts.
So scared, all alone, wanting someone there, but you threw all that away. Now didn't you when she hurt you for the first time?
Let's write something in the vein of, you know, like Thin Lizzy. One thing I like about a lot of the songs that they do, there was a lot of space in between chords and stuff like that. The drums are still going, you know, and Phil would always sing in those parts, you know, really kind of a cool thing. real dynamic.
When talking about the bridge section and the bass parts, I'm just doing a bunch of little fills in there while Armand's doing the 4 solo phrasings in between. And then we come into the part where we're harmonizing together and we're doing all of these little runs together. And there is zero musical foundation behind it. There's no rhythm guitar. There's no low bass track. And I love that we were able to pull that off.
We need to know, are you out there? Just another fixed man to you. This train is rolling off the rails. Through the fog you cannot see the show. Just another casualty of the war. Through the looking glass, it seems your time is past. In search of answers that you know will set you free. But the real power lies within you.
It's something you wouldn't think to try and do and not have the foundation of the riff behind it. But when we come back in on that second half of the bridge and the vocals come back in on the line through the looking glass, I hit that low C note and Armand is still doing the riff, and that's a good contrast. That's good dynamics. How we were both playing the harmony thing high together. And it has a little bit of a break. It gives it some air. You cut out the bottom end there just so you can come back in more powerful.
Yeah, and then the acoustic guitar thing, that was just something that I just was hearing from, the early the early versions of the songs, or as writing it. I just thought maybe it would be really cool to add that texture there. Because there's nothing behind the solos, besides the bass.
We need to know, are you out there? Just another fixed mind to you. This train is rolling off the rails. Through the fog you cannot see the show. Just another casualty of the war. Through the looking glass, it seems your time is past. In search of answers that you know will set you free. But the real power lies within you.
So a lot of times I try to throw something else in there. Like sometimes we'll throw organ, if you've heard before on the podcast. But this time the acoustic guitar was just one of those things. I didn't really tell the guys I was going to do it. I just did it and was like, hey, check this out. And they thought it was cool, so we stuck with it.
Hey guys, Nesbitt here. If you'd like to support Night Demon and this podcast, the best way to do it is to become a Night Demon subscriber. Not only will you be doing your part to support a true heavy metal band out there really living it, you'll also gain access to a ton of extras. Bonus audio content, a subscriber-only merch store with rare items from the band's archives. You can stream never-before-heard demos and unearth live concerts from the live vaults. Communicate with the other Night Demon diehards on an exclusive subscriber forum, and gain early access to all press releases, album pre-orders, new merchandise, and a ton more. And another thing that I think is pretty cool is Night Demon will be donating 10% of every subscription fee to the Metal Cares Foundation, which is a charitable fund the band started in 2014 to aid those in our metal community. So head over to nightdemon.net/subscriber and join us as we make heavy metal history together as one. And on a side note, I'll personally think you're a grade A badass.
I used a DW kit. I think I used a 24-inch kick drum. I believe it was a 14 rack, 18 floor toms, 16 floor toms. So I went 14, 18, 16 with a single 24 kick. I used the same DW snare that matched the kit. It was like a 14 by 6 maybe snare, wood. And I used Robert Garvin's 15-inch Peisty hi-hats. I used my 22-inch Peisty Rain Ride. And I used Robert's 2002 Peisty Crashes. I used his cymbals because we were doing the Sir Thungle gig and he had to bring his own cymbals. I brought my ride cymbal. He used my ride at the gig, and then I ended up using his cymbals for that recording, which was really nice of him. He didn't have to do that. And if anybody knows anything about Robert, he is a nut when it comes to taking care of his stuff, especially his drums. His cymbals don't have fingerprints on them. They don't have any cracks or anything, so I had to be really careful with his stuff. Not to mention, I bashed the shit out of him in the studio for sure. I remember doing the drums to the click for like the first 3 full times. And, it just was not feeling right with that speed of the click. We were really concentrating on getting the groove for this song right. I did not get the groove right in any of the demos. And it was something that I had to really work on and perfect. And it just so happens that after the third take, I'm like, you know what? Let's try one without the click. And Albini was like, I'm down for that. And the rest of the guys were like, okay, yeah, let's do it. And as soon as we started playing without the click, it was like, there it is. Those 3 times playing to the click really got me set into like control mode of like, don't play too fast, don't play too slow. But then when that click was taken away and it was time to play natural like we always do, the magic just happened. I naturally increased the speed by 2 beats a minute on the bulk of the song and the bridge. And that's exactly what it needed. I'm so happy that we didn't record to a click for that song because it would have ruined it. I don't think it would have ruined it, but it would have just not been what it is. I got a lot of help from the guys, Armand and Jarvis pointing out certain things that I don't always hear as usual. And, just trying to finesse this song a little bit rather than like pound through it. Thinking more like Brian Downey from the Thin Lizzy, what kind of fills would he do? And some of the ideas that Armand had from his early demo, there's some rip and fills like in the bridge, there's that long snare roll. There's a couple long, some fast fills. And then there's that fill coming out of the bridge back into the third verse. Where it's like kind of, it like walks down the drums. That was an Armand fill that he does in the original demo, where he like brings the song from that bridge and brings it back to that verse. So that fill pretty much stayed, and I just did it in my interpretation of it and the way that I got used to playing it. Other than that, Yeah, some groovy fills, like after the big intro hits, there's that snare and kick fill. And then the song is in, something tasty like that. I was thinking tasteful and with some finesse. And I think that was a little harder too, is how do you walk that fine line? So, the guys were really helpful with that, especially like in the chorus where we start to do that like kind of like gallop thing. That, was something that we started to do over time. And Jarvis was like, no, I'm thinking more like a gallop. So you got to play the floor toms and gallop it a little bit. Okay. All right. Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, there's some really cool stuff in there, it's great. I think everything really came together and it's a great track.
So a great track with an equally great cover for this single. The cover art for this one, a bit more understated than Empire's Fall and Kill the Pain, but it's an image that really fits the vibe of the song perfectly.
Yeah, the cover art's really cool. It's like an interpretation of Thin Lizzy's Black Rose, and it's got the Night Demon Reaper skeleton hand, and the Black Rose is bleeding into the sigil. It's really, really freaking cool album artwork. I really think we really knocked it out of the park with getting the artwork right for these songs. That's half of what makes them great.
The cover art was created by a Canadian guy named Brewmaster, and he has done most all of the artwork for the heavy metal band Haunt, who are really good friends of ours and actually distributed by my label. I think that this guy's art and that band are pretty synonymous with each other. They, like I said, there's many albums and many merch designs that are used by this band, by this guy, and his artwork pretty much says Haunt all over it. But at the time, he was doing stuff for other bands too, and I really, really like his style. And so I thought he would be perfect to do this. So we had an idea of like a Black Rose that was bleeding. So a tribute to Thin Lizzy again from the Black Rose album, but kind of over a tombstone, and the blood would be dripping. The blood dripping from the rose would form the Night Demon sigil on the ground. We thought that was really awesome. Unfortunately, his artistic skills, as great as he is, he couldn't pull that off, and he admitted that he couldn't. So he kind of did the basic work of it, and Donnie Phillips, our cover artist, came through in the clutch and did the blood and colored the rose and made sure that it was the blood dripped right into the sigil on the ground, and he totally fucking nailed it. I really, really, really love this art. And there were different versions that the original guy did, and I think we will have some of those in the subscriber section. There was an alternate back cover and stuff too. I mean, some really cool stuff, but just in the end, how we are, we're so meticulous as a band. We really just want everything we do to kind of have that quality. And although unfortunately I do think on the back of this, I paid so much attention to the detail that I forgot that my name was not spelled correctly. It was Jarvis Leathery, which actually is kind of cool, I guess, for this leathery voice. But yeah, the artwork was really great, And for the back cover, we have this great shot. There's the signature Night Demon, Jarvis and Ormond jumping off the drum riser. This was another one captured by our buddy Sebastian from Germany, and it was really, really great shot that we couldn't deny. We had to put this thing on the back, and it's a great black and white shot from somewhere in Europe, and really, really cool. I think that's one of the best jump pictures we have, to be honest. I wish that was around earlier for the Live Darkness album cover. Maybe we'll replace that one of these days, huh? Nah, that probably wouldn't be right.
Love the cover art of this one. It's got a very Baroque, I don't know, maybe I'm using the wrong word, but it's got a cool, like, kind of old, like, kind of worn in vibe to it. I think when we first got it, I'm not mistaken, there was a few things that we had our friend Donnie come in and tweak on it. I mean, it was really cool from the beginning, but there was a few little touches. Like I think originally the rose was supposed to be black, but with a dark background, obviously it didn't work very well. So we decided to change it to purple. And then I think also adding the sigil on the ground underneath the rose where the blood is dripping was another idea that we had after getting the original version of the artwork. So yeah, it's always one of those kind of back and forth things. And collaboration, it brings out the best.
So like the two singles that preceded this one, Are You Out There also got a behind the song mini documentary video and a lyric video, both released on YouTube to help promote the new track.
When we did the behind the song video and the lyric video, it's just we wanted to capture that experience in the studio with Steve Albini. And I'm really glad that we did that because it's just a great thing for the fans to see what it was really like and get the environment. We always know as a band, but even as time goes by and our memories start to slip and we all lose our minds, it's going to be great for us to even look back on that.
Yeah, I think the behind the song, we really captured a lot of Albini's studio and what we had going on at the time. It was really important. I'm glad that we went and had the camera for that. The lyric video, it is what it is. It's got the album artwork involved in it, and it tells the story, So everything was done really well and tied everything together quite nicely.
So a successful single release, a YouTube video, a behind the song video, and a sold-out 7-inch single. But after months of touring being put on hold due to the pandemic, on November 6th, 2021, Night Demon finally gets to premiere this new track to a live audience. So after 20 months off the road, Night Demon finally makes a triumphant return to the stage, headlining the Stone and Steel Festival in Asheville, North Carolina, where they played the song live for the very first time.
Are you out there?
We ended up playing this live a couple of times here so far, and yeah, it went over really good. It's fun to play. It's a good feel. It likes good groove. There's a lot of space, to hear the room that you're in. If it's a big room, big kind of hall or venue, whatever, theater kind of thing. I'm excited to play it in some big fucking venues because, yeah, there's all that space for the, all that space for those parts where the drums are playing and the guitar is kind of stopping and letting the drum do its thing. It's really, really cool for that. I think it's going to definitely be a staple in the new live set.
Just another
think it's a nice break in the set, you know, kind of like On Your Own. On Your Own is like a hard rock song too, you know, so we're no strangers to writing songs like that, and this is no exception, so.
We got to play the song live for the first time at our first show back post-pandemic in Asheville, North Carolina at our comeback show. And I thought it went over pretty good. I'll be honest, it's a tough one to sing. It's up there. I'm looking forward to getting some more practice on this song, but I definitely think this one is going to be going into the live set quite a bit. It's a great song to kind of break up the pace of what Night Demon is live. I can't see us really doing this in any kind of a support slot, but I can see it at a possible festival and definitely in the headlining set.
It was a really fun song to write, and it was hard to get all the parts right, but the end result is exactly the way it should be. And I really like the song. I love the song.
Overall, this song, Are You Out There, is something that I am extremely proud of. I've always said that I don't like to get personal with the lyrics. I don't hold Night Demon lyrics close to my heart, and you know, I allow criticism all the time with this stuff. I allow the band members to say, hey, let's change this up a bit, or hey, I'm not into those lyrics, you know, that's fine. But with this, I was able to pay tribute to one of our heroes and one of our biggest influences. I was able to get some shit off my chest that I've been wanting to say, some apologies that I've been wanting to give. You know, those are probably long past due, and I think I need to do that in person. But at the time, you know, I just didn't have that. It's not that I didn't have it in me. I just didn't have the opportunities to do that. And time hadn't passed. I hadn't been able to see it in the rear view long enough to assess these situations. So for me, writing this song was a big form of therapy and a way for me to quietly express myself within. And, you know, it's not easy talking about this stuff, but, you know, for the fans of this band, for the people that listen to this podcast, I love and appreciate you guys so much. And I'm more than happy to open the door and let you guys into the room to the heart and soul of Night Demon.
So that is it for Are You Out There? Again, I'll mention available now as part of the Year of the Demon compilation. So you can go to nightdemon.net for more info on bundles and formats. In the subscriber section on nightdemon.net, we have all the art from this single, including the original version of the front cover and the unused back cover art. We have Jarvis's handwritten notes and lyrics for this song, in addition to the many demos and mixes that we discussed in the first two parts of Are You Out There. You can also check out the behind the song video for footage from Steve Albini's studio on YouTube and also on nightdemon.net. Until next time, this is Nesbitt signing off.
Johnny boy, are you out there?
Thanks for listening to the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast. Head over to nightdemon.net, click on the subscriber tab, and sign up to access exclusive weekly bonus content. If you would like to donate to support the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast, you can do so through PayPal at paypal.me/nightdemonmetal. Additionally, if you have not already done so, please subscribe, like, rate, and review the show on iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts.
All hail, Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast listeners. This is Dusty Squires chiming in to tell you about my brand new signature sticks from the London Drumstick Company. I've dreamt of having my very own drumsticks ever since I was a wee lad, and LDC made that a possibility for me. Founded in 2016 in London, England, the birthplace of heavy metal, the London Drumstick Company has trailblazed a path through the music industry and taken the drummer world by storm. When I met them for the first time, they knew their product was going to withstand the beatings of a Night Demon show. They took the time to work with me on getting everything just right. The balance and weight of my sticks are the same no matter what, and the durability is bar none the best I've ever had. I know my sticks will last through the set night after night. I'm truly honored to work with a company that caters to their players the way LDC does. Their innovation and attention to detail is what separates them from the rest of the stick makers out there. Their custom stick sleeves are unbelievable and really make the entire presentation complete. Wait until you see the design they came up with for me. It blew my mind and was a surprise to say the least. They have all kinds of amazing swag, including hoodies, t-shirts, drummer shorts, drum keys, stick bags, towels, face masks, practice pads, and much, much more. Even if you're not a drummer, you can be a part of Demon history and order my brand new signature sticks direct from their website. How cool is that? And to top it off, the London Drumstick Company are giving an exclusive offer to the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast listeners. Go to londondrumsticks.co.uk and receive a 15% store-wide discount using promo code DEMONSTICKS. All capital letters, no spaces, Demon Sticks. DEMONSTICKS. I can't thank everyone there enough for the opportunity to be a part of their family and for them trusting me with their amazing products. See you metal maniacs on the road very soon. And yes, the wood chips will be flying.
Greetings, boils and ghouls. This is your comrade, the Crypt Keeper here, reporting dead from the sanctuary of the strange. Tonight's macabre myth is a fright-filled feature, one overflowing with monsters, madness, and magic.
Visit our website at monstersmadnessandmagic.com to stay up to date on all the dark dealings within the sanctuary of the strange. Enjoy the show.
Hey Metalheads, I'm Mark and I host the Metal Forge. Let me tell you about the show. The Metal Forge features the best underground metal from all over the world. We spend every week with a different artist with interviews, in-depth conversations, and most of all, the music. We also feature audience interactivity where you can submit your questions to the upcoming guests. New episodes are out every Friday at noon Eastern Time at metalforgeradio.com or wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Want to know what's going on in the world of music? Then tune in to the Nothing Shocking Podcast, a non-genre based, all-ages friendly rock and roll program. Join us weekly for interviews with all your favorite rock stars from the mainstream to the underground. You can find us at nothingshocking.libsyn.com or anywhere you download podcasts.
Okay, metalheads, you've been complaining that there has not been a channel that plays all of the heavy metal videos from past, present, and future for years and years at this point. Well, that time is over. Heavy Metal Television is back. HeavyMetalTelevision.net is the website. Go there. You can see videos playing 24/7, 365, all the time. All the best from the old school, the new school, and everything in between. Check it out, HeavyMetalTelevision.net. It is where the metal is.